Hi friends, so today we are going to see input decorator of Angular, and this demo will show you how you can inject a value in the input field and retrieve it at the other component. So before I start, I request you to please subscribe to my channel, view the videos that I have uploaded, and also share the videos with your friends. So let us start. So I have created a demo project, and I will just import it. So this is a simple Angular project, and now I will create a couple of components that will enable me to show you how input decorator works. So the first component is I will create a component like ng generate component, so you can use shorthand notations of ng, g, and c. And the first component is parent. So it has been created, and now the second component I will name it as child, because that is how it works. It will I will show you how you can define a variable in parent and pass it on to child, then populate it in the child, and then again retrieve it in the parent. So I will expand this, and you see that two couple of components have been made. So I will go to the parent and I will open the TypeScript of parent, and in the class I will define my input variable. So this is the notation of the decorator by which I have defined one name variable, and I also need to import it from the package Angular core. So I have imported it. So this is a variable that I will like to modify in my child module. So what I will do is, so I will select the selector. I will go to my child module. I will not touch the initial thing that we have by default, and I will just pass my variable to the child module. So what is the way to do it? So this is name equal to single colon name. So by this way you have passed your parent variable to the child variable. Now child component. Now I will open that child component TypeScript, and in the ng init I will write this dot name equal to, so it is prompting me for an error. So for that I need to import the parent component here. So this is how you can import your parent component. So now the error, you need to you need to define a local variable here that will be similar or different to the variable. So I am just defining a variable here which is similar to the variable that I have constructed in my parent, and I will redefine it as programming with Manish, and as you can replace this with any string. Now let me open the console. So to run this program, the command is ng serve. The Basically, it will compile and a browser will start at 4200. That is the default port, as you can see. So let's wait for that. So till now what we have done is we have defined one particular variable here by the name input using the input decorator. This is our input field to the child component, and I have injected that particular variable by using this tag. This is my parent component tag, and where I have created one name input field. So here I have injected it in the child component. I have imported the parent component, and I have just initialized this variable with a particular string. So now let us go to the browser. So as you can see that it is loading at its default port of 4200. So this is the default page of Angular. So how to customize it? So when you open it and in any of the project, it first central file that is first encountered is index.html. So in the entire project, we will search for index.html and I will open it. So this is the thing that is being displayed to us on the screen. Ng input is the title, and this is the app root. So first let us compare the title. So ng input is the title, and the same thing that you see that in the title, that is ng input. And then we have the app root. So this is also the default component that is created when you create an Angular project. So when I go and search for a default component, so you can find it here. This is app component.html, scss, ts file, spec ts file, and this app.component.ts. So from where this particular content of the page came from, this logo and these are links. So I will go into app component.html. So this is where everything else is coming from. So what I will do is I will remove everything. What I now need is I will create the child, I will inject the child component over there, because here is the point where we are initializing this name variable. So I will go there and I will just import it. Okay, so this is fine. Now what will happen is it will encounter index.html, and in turn it will redirect to app component.html, because this is the default component, and there we have given the mapping of app child, that is our child component, where we have initialized the string. Now we will go back to our parent module. This is our parent module, and in the ng init I will try to retrieve the value that I have defined over there. So name is this dot name. So this is something that we have defined in our child component, and I will also go in the HTML file of our parent, and I will write over here parent this dot name. So what I have done is I have uh, in the default component in the app component.html, I have removed everything and I have imported the child component, where I have initialized my name variable, which is an input variable. And again in the parent component, I have gone and I have displayed it on the HTML page, as well as I have written in the console.log. So what happens now next? Let's see it. So here you can see that in the HTML component now you see parent programming with Manish parent works. So this is what we were having here. So this part was already there, and this has come from the child component. If I go there in the console also you can view the page has refreshed, but as you could see, the console also shows that the variable name has been changed, and I am able to print that variable. So how the value has come? The value has come from the child component, and I am using it in the parent component. Let me show it. So yeah, the programming with Manish. This is the console that we have written in our console.log. Another thing is how input works is it also updates the DOM of the HTML. So you can see that you can also have this value in this here. So here also you have this value. It has updated in the HTML DOM of the page. So this is one more characteristic of the input decorator, and this might seem, what is the need of using input field. So uh, suppose in case of graphs, when you are plotting graphs and you have a number of parent graphs like horizontal graph or stacked bar chart graph, or a number of types of graphs like uh, pie chart or donut chart, but you have individual pages where you have the values. So you can update those values in your individual pages, which will act like a child page, and you can pass on those values to your parent component, which is having the basic code of that chart. So I will cover this kind of examples in my next tutorial, where you will see that how parent-child relation will be very much used in updating the content of a graph. Content will come from the child component. We will define some variables in the parent component, and that variables will be updated by the child component. Parent component will have the logic for the chart, and I will just pass on the child variables from the child component, the data from the child component, and display the graph. I will use the same component in a number of pages. So that is how we modularize in Angular. So, and that was all, folks, and please view this channel, subscribe it, and like it, and share with your friends. Thank you very much.